You ever notice how the smallest thing can wreck your entire day? A text that doesn't come back, a look someone gives you across a room, a number on a screen that's lower than you wanted it to be. Nothing actually happened to you, and yet, somehow, the whole day feels heavier, like the air got thicker. We say we want peace. We say it all the time. I just want some peace and quiet. And then we spend the rest of the day doing the exact opposite of the things that would give it to us. That's what this is about. So look, this isn't going to be one of those videos where someone reads you a few quotes, tells you to stay strong, and sends you on your way feeling good for about 10 minutes. I'm not interested in making you feel good for 10 minutes. I'm interested in something that actually lasts. Because here's what I've come to believe, and what the Stoics figured out almost 2,000 years ago. Most of the suffering in your life isn't coming from your circumstances. It's coming from a handful of quiet little habits. Habits that look completely harmless. Habits that everybody around you has too, so you never think to question them. And that's exactly why they're so dangerous. They hide in plain sight. So today, I want to walk you through 9 of them. 9 habits that are slowly stealing your peace without you ever giving them permission. And more importantly, how the Stoics would tell you to let them go. If that sounds like something you need right now, do me a favor and subscribe, because this channel isn't about motivation. It's about using these old ideas as actual tools to live with a little more calm, a little more clarity, and a lot more strength. All right, let's get into it. The first one is the quietest of them all, and it might be the most expensive. Comparison. Here's what almost nobody admits. You don't actually want the thing you say you want. You want it relative to other people. You don't want a good car. You want a better car than your neighbor. You don't want enough money. You want more than the people you grew up with. And the problem with measuring your life against other people is that there is no finish line. There's always someone ahead. There's always a bigger house, a faster career, a nicer vacation. You climb one mountain, you look up, and there's another one. And somebody's already standing on top of it. The Stoics had a phrase for this, and it cuts right to the bone. They said the wise person measures their life by their own standard, not by the crowd's. Epictetus put it bluntly. He said, it's impossible to learn what you think you already know. And most of us walk around thinking we already know what a good life looks like, when really, we just borrowed the picture from everyone else. Now, you might be thinking, but comparison can motivate me. Isn't a little of it healthy? Here's the thing. There's a difference between looking at someone and thinking, I can learn from them, and looking at someone and thinking, I'm behind. One opens you up, the other one slowly poisons you. Think of it like this. 2 runners on a track. One is watching the clock, trying to beat his own time from last week. The other one keeps turning his head to see where everyone else is. Tell me, which one is going to trip? When you stop running other people's race, you finally get to run your own, and that's when peace starts to show up. The second habit is one we don't even see as a habit. We think it's just being a normal, hopeful person. Expectations. We walk into almost every situation with a script already written in our heads. How the conversation should go, how the person should treat us, how the day should turn out. And when reality doesn't match the script, and it almost never does, we feel let down. We feel wronged, like life broke a promise it never actually made. But here's what the Stoics understood. Life never signed that contract. You wrote it alone, in your own head, and then you got angry when the world didn't read it. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ran the entire Roman Empire, used to start his mornings reminding himself that he was going to meet difficult people that day. Ungrateful people, arrogant people, not because he was a pessimist, but because he refused to be blindsided by the basic facts of being alive. That's not lowering your standards, that's protecting your peace. Now, somebody's going to say, if I expect nothing, I'll never push for anything. But that's not what this is. There's a difference between an intention and an expectation. An intention is something you control, your effort, your attitude, how you show up. An expectation is a demand you place on the world, and the world doesn't take orders from you. Aim with everything you've got, but hold the outcome loosely. Because the moment you grip an outcome too tight, every bump in the road becomes a personal insult. This one is the thief that works the night shift. Worry. You lie in bed, the lights are off, your body is exhausted, and your mind is sprinting through 12 different disasters that haven't happened yet. The conversation that might go wrong tomorrow, the money that might run out next year, the phone call you're dreading. And here's the cruel joke. Most of it never happens. We suffer through the whole thing in advance, in high definition, and then reality shows up much smaller than the version we imagined. Seneca wrote something about this that I think about a lot. He said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Read that again. More in imagination than in reality. The mind builds a monster and then makes you fight it every single night, when the real thing, if it ever comes, is usually something you can handle. So here's the Stoic principle underneath all of this. It's the most important one in the whole philosophy. They divided the world into two piles. The things that are up to you, your choices, your effort, your response, and the things that are not up to you. Pretty much everything else. Other people, the economy, the weather, the future. And worry is what happens when you take all your energy and dump it into the second pile. The pile you cannot control. It's like grabbing the steering wheel of a car you're not even sitting in. Now you might say, but planning is smart. Isn't worrying just preparing? No. And this is the line that changed everything for me. Planning is an action you take once with a clear head and then you let it go. Worry is the same fear on a loop with no plan attached. Planning happens at a desk. Worry happens in bed. Picture your mind like a garden. Worry is letting weeds grow in a field you don't even own. Pull your attention back to your own plot of land. Tend to what's actually yours. That's where everything good grows. Number 4, hides behind a clever disguise. It calls itself being realistic. Negativity. You know the voice, the one that walks into a good situation and immediately starts looking for the catch. The one that hears good news and waits for the bad news. The one that protects you by assuming the worst, so you're never disappointed. But here's what that voice doesn't tell you. It's not protecting you. It's preloading the suffering. You end up living through every bad outcome twice. Once when you imagine it, and once if it actually happens. And most of the time it doesn't, so you suffered for free. The Stoics weren't naive optimists. They didn't pretend life was all sunshine, but they understood something crucial about how the mind works. Epictetus said it plainly. People are not disturbed by events, but by the views they take of those events. Read that slowly. It's not the thing that happens to you, it's the meaning you put on it. Two people lose the same job. One of them spirals into, I'm a failure, my life is over. The other one thinks, okay, this is hard, and it's also a door opening. Same event, two completely different lives, branching off from the exact same moment. The difference wasn't the event. The difference was the lens. And the negative lens isn't truth. People think pessimism is the smart, sophisticated take. It's not. It's just a lens, and it's a lens you can take off. I'm not telling you to slap a fake smile on everything. I'm telling you that your default interpretation of life is a habit, not a fact. And any habit can be changed. This is the heaviest one, the one that wears you out without you even moving, living in the past, the grudge you've been carrying for years. The mistake you keep replaying like a movie you've already seen 100 times. The version of your life that should have happened. The one you keep mourning. Here's the thing, nobody says out loud, You can't change a single second of it, not one. All the regret in the world won't move the past an inch. And yet, we keep paying rent on it every single day like it's a house we still live in. I want to tell you a story. It's the kind of thing that happens to people all the time. There was a man who got passed over for a promotion he'd worked years for. Watched someone else get the job he was sure was his, and for the next 3 years, he held on to it. Told the story to anyone who'd listen, replayed the moment in his head before he fell asleep. He thought the resentment was justice, like by staying angry, he was somehow holding the world accountable. But the people who wronged him, they'd forgotten about it within a month. They moved on. They slept fine. The only person still locked in that room 3 years later was him. He was the prisoner and the guard. The Stoics would say, "What's done belongs to fate now. It's out of the pile you control." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself again and again that you can only ever lose the present moment because the past and the future aren't yours to lose. They were never in your hands to begin with. Now you might be thinking, but what was done to me really mattered. Letting go feels like saying it was okay. It's not. Letting go isn't saying it was okay. Letting go is refusing to keep handing them your peace long after they've stopped asking for it. You don't forgive the past for their sake. You forgive it so you can finally put the weight down. Because here's the truth. You've been carrying a backpack full of stones, and you've had permission to set it down this whole time. You just forgot you were allowed. Number 6 is the one that runs your life without you noticing. The need for approval. The decisions you make based on what people will think. The post you delete because it didn't get enough likes. The opinion you swallow because you're scared of the reaction. The version of yourself you perform, hoping the audience claps. And here's the trap. The applause of other people is the most unstable foundation you could possibly build a life on. It changes by the hour. The same crowd that loves you today forgets you tomorrow. If your sense of worth depends on their reaction, then you've handed the controls of your entire self to people who aren't even paying attention. Marcus Aurelius, again, this man ran an empire, wrote a line in his private journal that I think about constantly. He asked himself why he should care so much about the opinions of people he doesn't even respect, people whose own lives are a mess. Why hand them the power to decide how he feels about himself? The Stoics talked about something they called the inner citadel, a core of yourself that no one else can touch, a place where your worth is decided by you, by your character, your effort, whether you acted with integrity and not by the noise outside the walls. Here's the objection I always hear. But humans are social creatures. We're supposed to care what people think. Sure, there's a difference between caring about people and being controlled by them. You can love your friends and still make decisions they disagree with. You can want connection without selling your soul for approval. Think of it like a compass that constantly recalibrates to whoever's standing next to it isn't a compass anymore. It's useless. It just spins. The whole point is that it points the same direction no matter who's in the room. Be the compass. Stop being the weather vane. This one is so woven into modern life that calling it a habit almost feels like an understatement. Social media. And look, I'm not here to tell you to throw your phone in a lake. The Stoics weren't about extremes, but we have to be honest about what's actually happening. You pick up your phone for 30 seconds and you put it down 40 minutes later feeling somehow worse. You went in fine and you came out anxious, comparing, restless, and you couldn't even tell you what you saw. It just left a residue. Here's the part nobody likes to admit. These platforms are designed, engineered by very smart people to keep you scrolling. Your attention is the product, and every minute you give them is a minute you took from your own life, your real life, the one happening in front of you. The Stoics were obsessed with one resource above all others: time. Seneca wrote an entire letter on it. He pointed out that people guard their money and their property like hawks, but they let strangers walk off with their time, the one thing they can never get back, without putting up any fight at all. And that's exactly what's happening every time you fall into the scroll. You're giving away the only truly non-refundable thing you own in exchange for a feeling that leaves you emptier than when you started. Now, but I need it for work. I'd be left behind. Maybe, then use it like a tool. A tool is something you pick up, use for a purpose, and put back down. What we've got now is the opposite. The tool picks us up. Ask yourself one honest question next time. Am I using this, or is it using me? The answer is usually obvious the second you actually ask it, is the one that turns ordinary life into a constant low-grade struggle. Resisting change. We say we hate surprises. We want things to stay the way they are. The relationship, the job, the routine, the version of ourselves we've gotten comfortable with. And so when life shifts, and life is always shifting, we dig our heels in, we brace, we grieve the old thing instead of meeting the new one. But here's the truth the Stoics built their whole philosophy around. Change isn't an interruption to life. Change is life. Nothing stays. Not the good, not the bad, not you, not me. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the universe is change, and our life is what our thoughts make of it. Everything is in motion. The river you stepped in this morning is already gone. When you fight that, you're not fighting a problem. You're fighting reality itself. And reality has a perfect, undefeated record. You will lose that fight every single time. The Stoics had a phrase, amor fati, the love of fate. Not just tolerating what happens, not just gritting your teeth and accepting it, but actually learning to embrace it, to meet whatever comes and find the use in it. Here's the objection. Some changes are just bad. How am I supposed to love that? Fair. Loving your fate doesn't mean pretending the hard things are good. It means refusing to waste your energy wishing reality were different and instead asking, okay, this is what's in front of me now. What can I build from here? Picture a tree in a storm. The rigid branch, the one that refuses to move, that's the one that snaps. The flexible branch bends, lets the wind pass through, and is still standing in the morning. Don't be the rigid branch. The wind is coming either way. The only choice you get is whether you bend or break. And we've saved the most important one for last, because all 8 of the others, every single one, gets louder when this last one is missing. The lack of self-compassion. Listen to the way you talk to yourself when you mess up, the voice in your head when you fail, when you fall short, when you let yourself down. For most people, it's brutal. It's a voice you would never use on a friend, a voice you'd be ashamed for anyone else to hear. We've somehow convinced ourselves that being hard on ourselves is what keeps us in line, that if we ease up, if we're kind to ourselves, we'll just fall apart and stop trying. But here's what the Stoics understood, and it surprises people. The Stoics were not cruel to themselves. They were fair. There's a difference. Marcus Aurelius, in his private journal, the one he never meant for anyone to read, corrects himself constantly. But the tone isn't cruelty. It's the tone of a patient teacher with a student he believes in. Firm, but never venomous. Because here's the logic. The Stoics believed we're all flawed, all works in progress, all stumbling toward becoming a little better. So when you fall short, you didn't betray some perfect version of yourself. You just acted like a human being who's still learning. And a human being who's still learning doesn't need to be punished. They need to be corrected. And then they need to keep walking. But isn't self-compassion just an excuse to be lazy? No. This is the part people get backwards. Self-compassion isn't lowering the bar. It's staying in the game. The person who beats themselves up after every failure eventually just stops trying, because failure becomes too painful to risk. The person who can fail, be honest about it, treat themselves with some basic decency and get back up. That's the person who actually improves. Kindness isn't the opposite of discipline. It's the fuel that lets discipline last. You are going to spend your entire life inside your own head, with your own voice as your only constant companion. Every day, until the very end, so you get to decide something. Is that voice going to be a tyrant, or is it going to be a coach? Choose the coach. You're going to need them for the long road ahead. So there they are, 9 quiet habits: comparison, expectation, worry, negativity, the past, approval, the screen, resistance, and the war against yourself. None of them look dangerous. That's exactly why they are. They don't knock your door down. They slip in through the cracks, one small moment at a time, until one day you wake up and wonder where all your peace went. But here's the good news, and I want you to really sit with this. Every single one of these is a habit, not a fate, not a personality, not who you are, a habit. And a habit is something you built, which means it's something you can rebuild. You don't have to fix all 9 today, just pick one. The one that hit you hardest while you were listening. You probably already know which one it was. Start there. Catch yourself doing it once this week. Just notice it. And that's already the whole thing beginning to change. So let me ask you, before you go, of all 9, which one is stealing the most peace from you right now? Be honest. Drop it in the comments. Not for me, for you. There's something that happens when you actually name the thing out loud. And if any of this landed, if you want to keep using these old ideas as real tools for a calmer, clearer, stronger life, subscribe and stick around. Take care of yourself and take care of that voice in your head. I'll see you in the next one.